Hey guys, my name is Nikki. Welcome back to my channel. So for those of you who are new here, of course, this is my first video that I'm going to upload in 2020. I have taken a little bit of a hiatus from YouTube, and it was mostly due to just like life happening, and I had tried to pre-film, film, and I had filmed probably like 3 videos, and I vlogged. I literally did so much, and none of it was content that I felt was quality enough because my life was just like running through everything. So I'm still not even home. I got to go home for a little while, and I started classes last week, but right now it is the weekend right after I started classes, and I'm actually at my in-laws. So I brought my whole setup pretty much, and they actually gave me a ring light, so now I can travel with my lighting and everything a lot easier than it would have been otherwise, and so it's really nice to be able to continue to film even when I'm not home. So this was a Christmas present, and I'm filming with it now. But a little bit of a life update for you guys before we get into it. I actually cut my hair. I don't know how obvious it is to you guys, but my hair was significantly longer. I chopped off about 6 inches. It's still pretty long, but in case anyone was wondering, yes, I cut my hair. I did that the day after New Year's. So I started 2020 with a big chop of hair. But today we are actually going to be talking about the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer, which I haven't heard anyone talk about, but when I was looking at their website, I was kind of browsing Ulta's sales and stuff like that. The e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, I know that they came out, and I have seen it a lot. They came out with 2 more of these, so it's pretty cool. And I'm sure this one was such a good product that I guess they extended it to an eye primer. And you guys, this one is in the shade Cream, and in this video, as soon as I saw it, I thought this has got to be a dupe. I just have a feeling that it's going to be a dupe for the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. It also looks like a color dupe to me. So in this video, we're going to test this out. I know that MAC is a very high-end brand. It is like an OG makeup company, and they're very expensive. So the price difference between these two is huge. So that's a really big plus if we can find a really nice drugstore affordable dupe for it. So we're going to find that out in this video. So if you guys want to learn more about the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer, then let's just go ahead and get into the video. Okay guys, so we're going to jump right into it. And this is the e.l.f. Putty Primer. This is a new product from e.l.f. This is in the color Cream. I just thought it was like a very similar color to the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. This is the MAC one. And what I'm going to do is do one on each eye for you guys, because when I saw this from e.l.f., it immediately, because it is called the Putty Eye Primer, and I know they have their e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, which I will insert a clip of this one. But they also came out with a luminous putty primer and a matte one. I find that the original putty primer works really well, but I think once I get a little bit deeper into the normal one, like the original, I will purchase the matte one, because I do have kind of oily combination skin, and definitely in my nose area, my nose gets really oily, so I think it'd be really nice to test that out. But today the focus is this e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer. So it is crease and smudge proof for 12 hours. That is one of the claims. e.l.f. is cruelty free and vegan, so I love that about this brand. It says to apply to your eyelids with an eyeshadow brush or the tip of your finger. Wear alone for a tint of color, or apply eyeshadow on top for a vibrant, long-wearing look. Amp up your eyeshadow with color intensifying eye putty primer. So this packaging is a little hard to open, but I saw this, actually had not heard anybody talk about it, so I was really intrigued, because when I got the James Charles palette, I went out and I purchased the Soft Ochre Paint Pot from MAC, because James Charles recommended it, and he said to use something like this instead of a concealer, which I do have foundation on my eyelids right now, so they're not completely bare. And the reason that I kind of don't like using products like this is because I always have to clean up my eyebrows first. So I'm going to do that real quick, and I'm going to try to use as little product as possible to just clean them up down here without bringing it down into my eyelid, because I find that products like this are a little too stiff to do that with. So I'm going to jump in and do that, and then we're going to jump into these little guys right here. Okay, so you can see I did clean up my brows. I used the e.l.f. Camo 16 Hour, the original one. They did come out with a hydrating one. I will be doing a video testing that one as well. This one is in the shade Medium Peach. It is a really light, it's lighter than what I normally go with, but that's the only concealer that I brought with me. I'm actually not home right now, so we're gonna use the e.l.f. Eye Putty Primer. You can see real quick the color that I got is very similar. This is the MAC one and this is the e.l.f. one. So this is MAC Soft Ochre and this is the cream shade, and they're very similar. I feel like maybe the e.l.f. one has a bit more pink, but they're pretty similar in consistency here. And I normally use a brush like this. This is just a really flat brush. This is the Ulta Beauty flat concealer brush to work with like cream products on my eyelids. However, for this particular product, I find that using something that is more finger-like works better. So obviously right now I don't have nails on, which is really nice because I can manipulate the product with my hands. But I did just pick this up. Sorry you guys can see the ring light there. But I think a brush like this is going to work really nicely. This is the Real Techniques Face, Eye, and Cheek Essentials kit. This was actually on sale at Ulta Beauty, which is really nice because it comes with I think I got it for $11, and just the sponge normally from Real Techniques retails for $5. So I got all this for like 11 something. I thought it was just such a good deal to pass up, so I just couldn't pass it up, you know. So I also did get for Christmas some Ulta Beauty gift cards, so that was a really nice place to spend my money. So this is what they look like. Oh, that sponge just went flying. But this is the Deluxe Crease Brush. And this feels dense enough, yet malleable enough to really buff product into the lid. And that's kind of something I have really been wanting. And like I was missing a brush like this in my collection. So we're going to use the e.l.f. one on my right eye. It's going to be your left. And I'm gonna just touch it with my finger first. It feels very similar so far, like just pressing my finger into it, to the MAC one, but just putting my brush into it and swiping it around looks really nice. I feel like the MAC one definitely comes with more coverage right off the bat. It just seems like one of those products that has a lot more coverage. You can still see, I feel like, through my eyelid a little bit, but comparable. I think it's really similar so far. The MAC one was pretty pricey and this one is e.l.f. and you know that e.l.f. is just one of those brands that is super affordable. I'm not cleaning this off because you will be able to see the difference here. I feel like when I apply the MAC one, the immediate coverage is a little bit more intense, but I feel like they both have the same claims to make your makeup last longer. I feel like I actually have too much on my brush for the MAC side, so I'm gonna just wipe it off on some paper towel and buff the rest up. The nice thing about this brush is I feel like I can also pat, like if I were using my finger. So this is actually really nice because you can see that it has a little bit more coverage, but once I start blending eyeshadows onto it, I don't think you're really gonna see the difference. So I'm actually going to use this Physicians Formula Ultimate Muru Butter Collection palette. It is very large, but I'm going to be wearing a pink top today, and I felt like these like mauve pink shades would look really nicely. So I'm not really going to talk you guys super in depth through this look, but I will just kind of speed it through. I'm pretty much planning to stick in this row right here, maybe these light nude shades as well. I'm not going to do a super intense eye look just because we're really just going to test to see if this creases, if it comes off particularly bad, or if it wears very quickly. Normally I just use concealer on my lids, and I find that the wear is incredible and I don't have any issues with just concealer. But maybe these products will make me a believer. I really only bought this one for the the MAC one for the James Charles palette. And even then, like, I only use it when I'm using that palette, so. The eyeshadows on this palette are good, and I have worn them many times already, and I've noticed no issues, which is why I'm using it today in part. I feel like I'm using a very, very light nudie pink shade, so I feel like, you know, it's taking some time to build the shade up. Actually, this one looks darker on the e.l.f. side, but like more vibrant, but I might have just built it up more. Maybe it's the lighting. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like the e.l.f. one looks a little deeper. I'm also going to dip into some blush palettes in this because I feel like that there's not a shade in the palette part of this that is pink enough for my taste. So I'm just going to run some blush. I told you guys I wasn't going to run you through this eye look, and yet I definitely am starting to do that. So let me shut up now. Okay, so real quick for my inner corner, I actually just used these two shades, the white and the pink. I mean, it's just a very basic look, but I really am looking for creasing. They performed pretty much the same when I was applying eyeshadows on them, and my goal here is really to see if these are a dupe, and right now I'm thinking yes, especially a color dupe. Yes, the soft ochre one is a little bit more pigmented than the e.l.f. one, but I find that you can't tell once you've applied eyeshadows. I feel like they both came out the same color payoff, and maybe even the e.l.f. one had a little bit more. So I will say the e.l.f. one is not glass. It looks like frosted glass, the packaging, but it is plastic. The MAC one is heavier, like to the touch. It's considerably heavier and has the glass packaging, and both have plastic lids, but they look like they have about the same amount of product. The MAC one has 0.17 ounces, and the e.l.f. one also has, oh, the e.l.f. one actually has more product. The e.l.f. one has 0.19 ounces. So you're actually getting even a better deal than I initially thought because of the price difference and everything. But the e.l.f. one is got more product, so that's really cool. So I'm going to finish up my makeup and then show you guys towards the end of the day what my eyeshadow looks like, if I think it's a dupe, if they wore the same way, and yeah, I'll come back to that. Okay guys, real quick, I want to share with you guys the lip combo that I put with this look, just in case you're curious, because I've obviously often gotten questions and I never remember. So I'm wearing the LA Girl Perfect Precision Lip Liner in the shade Sugar and Spice. This is actually a the color itself is very similar to my natural lips, but my favorite one from this line is the shade Cafe. I love it. I have a backup of it. Then I'm trying the Milani Amore Shine Liquid Lip Color. At first I actually thought this was a like matte lipstick, but because of the packaging and everything, but it's a not super shiny gloss with a lot of pigment, like kind of like the ABH glosses. And with that, I paired it on top of that. I put the Milani Keep It Full. This is one of their more like intense shine true glosses, in my opinion, of what I consider gloss to be. And this one is in the shade Natural Luster. So I'm gonna go ahead and spritz my face, and I'm already done with my makeup. So I'm gonna spritz my face, set it, and I'll be right back to... Okay guys, so I'm back. It's been many hours later. It is 10:16 and I started filming probably around 3 o'clock earlier, so my makeup's been on for a good while. I haven't touched up. Obviously, I ate, my lip product's gone. It was just a lip gloss, so that tends to happen. But I'm not gonna like focus on my face. Yes, my nose is a little bit oily. That just is kind of the norm for me. But honestly, I can't tell a difference in my eyeshadow. I think it looks really good. There is no significant creasing. My eyeshadow looks like it lasts really well. I normally don't have an issue with my eyeshadow lasting. This is the MAC side and this is the e.l.f. side, and I think they both look really great. I did apply some eyeliner after that and it looks good too. Nothing has smudged. Overall, like as my final thoughts, I really do think they are really good dupes for each other, and I think that most importantly, it's about the fact that they're similar enough in shade and in longevity that they work. I don't normally have a problem with my eyeshadow lasting, and like that's not my biggest concern. I guess my biggest concern is that makeup applies nicely over top and that I don't have any significant issues, because I normally don't. Even with concealer, with whatever I use, I don't really have any problems. But I do like to lay a base down with a little bit of color, and this gives me that, and I think they're both really nice. I will have to test out the e.l.f. one with the James Charles palette and see if there's any skipping, so I'll probably do a follow-up video at some point using both of these on 2 separate eyes with the James Charles palette to see if there's any difference. But just from first impressions, I really do think they're a dupe for one another, and I think that the price point is the biggest win for this product, is that it's just so unbelievably affordable in comparison to the MAC one, that even though it is not exactly the same in pigmentation, I think that it works exactly the same pretty much. So yeah guys, those are my final thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know that it's been a while since I've been on YouTube, so I'm really glad to be back and bringing you guys some more content. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up in the section below, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.